Hello, everybody. This is Khatib, and I'm back. It is Tuesday, March the 17th. The time is 5:21 a.m. Great rising to all you beautiful people out there in the universe. Well, look, I know I'm off balance. I'm off key. I haven't been on a regular schedule with posting, but hey, we're gonna just do the dang thing. All right, no excuses. But I got a good one for you. So it is also second night season in New Orleans, not just festival time. And I went to Super Sunday last Sunday, and it was amazing. And so as I was at Super Sunday, of course, I'm always getting inspired. I was inspired to write a piece. So I want you to check this out. I think it's really good. It's good. You have to be in my top something. It's in my top 20. Listen to this post, share with your friends, share with your family, share with your loved ones. Sit back, relax, and have a beautiful Tuesday. Let's get with it.
Author's opening note. Here is a little fact most people do not know about dancing. When a person dances, the brain releases chemicals that can calm fear, lower pain, and increase feelings of connection with other human beings. Scientists got fancy names for them chemicals, but around New Orleans we just call it catching that beat. You heard me. When the rhythm hits your bones and your shoulders start rolling before your mind even agrees, that is not just movement. That is the body remembering something ancient, something older than textbooks, older than arguments, older than worry. Now, before anybody starts thinking that this reflection about to sound like a lecture from somebody wearing khakis and talking about wellness at a conference room with stale coffee, relax. That ain't me. I am writing this from a place that smells like trumpet valves, sweat, hot pavement, and fried seafood drifting out somebody's kitchen window. I am writing this after standing in the streets of New Orleans, watching a second line roll past like a living heartbeat. If you never experienced that kind of joy shaking the sidewalks, then baby, you've been missing a piece of human medicine. Some folks pray quietly in pews. Some meditate in silence. Some sit on mountains and stare at the horizon. Down here, sometimes we pray by dancing behind a brass band while somebody auntie waves a white handkerchief like she trying to flag down heaven itself. Spirituality wears many outfits. In New Orleans, it sometimes wears sequins, feathers, and a big umbrella. Now I know somebody reading this might be tired. Life been throwing elbows lately. Bills piling up like laundry you keep promising to fold tomorrow. The news sounding like a broken trumpet playing the same sour note every day. People arguing about everything under the sun. Everybody claiming they right while the world's still spinning crooked. So if you are tired, welcome. Pull up a chair. Or better yet, stand up and stretch them legs. Because this reflection not just about a parade tradition. This about survival. This about joy that refuses to die. This about learning how to keep moving when the world tries to glue your feet to the ground. And I am warning you now with love and a little sarcasm. If you read this whole reflection and still refuse to dance in your own life's second line, then I cannot help you. I might pray for you. I might shake my head. But after that, I am going back outside where the band playing and the people laughing. Because sometimes the most spiritual decision a person can make is very simple. Step outside, lift your head, and dance anyway. Oh, it ain't my fault. Big Stepping in Life's Second Line by Khatib Shuner. When I left the house that morning, the air already felt like a celebration waiting to happen. Not the quiet, polite kind of celebration either. I mean the loud kind. The kind where a trumpet is arguing with a trombone and the drum is winning the argument. March sunlight bouncing off shotgun houses, somebody frying chicken 2 streets over, kids running with plastic cups of lemonade like they on an Olympic mission. That kind of day. Super Sunday second line energy was rolling through the city, and anybody who knows New Orleans knows that means the street's about to turn into a moving testimony. Now let me explain something for people who think a second line is just a parade. Bless your heart. That is like saying gumbo is just soup. Technically maybe, but spiritually you missed the whole point. A second line got 2 parts. The first line is the band, the grand marshal, and whoever the day belongs to. Maybe a social aid club celebrating their history. Maybe a wedding. Maybe a funeral where sorrow and joy are holding hands. Then comes the second line. That is everybody else. Neighbors, cousins, strangers, tourists who accidentally stepped outside and suddenly realized their hips got opinions they never heard before. The second line is where life shows up uninvited and gets welcomed anyway. I stood there watching people join behind the band, and it hit me how spiritual that whole thing really is. Nobody checks your resume before you dance. Nobody asks about your credit score or your past mistakes. You can walk into that second line with yesterday's worries still clinging to your shirt, and by the time the tuba starts booming, your shoulders already shaking them, worries loose. That is community therapy right there. No waiting room required. A trumpet cut through the air like sunlight slicing fog, and the crowd erupted. Feet hitting pavement in rhythm, umbrellas spinning, somebody yelling, "Baby, you better move them knees." And suddenly everybody part of the same heartbeat. Now listen, life got a funny way of trying to turn people into statues. Bills freeze you. Stress frees you. Heartbreak frees you. Before you know it, you standing still in the middle of your own life watching everybody else move forward. But the second line refuses to let that happen. That dance style we call buck jumping is not about perfection. Ain't nobody judging form like it is ballet class. You step high, dip low, twist, spin, maybe trip a little and laugh about it. The whole point is freedom. Your body telling your spirit we still alive. And that idea got roots deeper than the Mississippi River mud. Long before New Orleans brass bands were blowing horns, West African traditions already understood something powerful. Movement heals, rhythm carries memory, drums speak languages the mouth cannot explain. When those traditions traveled through pain, through slavery, through generations of struggle, they did not disappear. They transformed. They turned into jazz funerals. They turned into social aid clubs. They turned into second lines where grief and joy share the same street. Because down here we understand something the rest of the world's still trying to figure out. You can cry, but eventually you also got to dance. I heard somebody once say sorrow is heavy, but rhythm got strong shoulders. Watching that parade roll past, I saw every kind of person imaginable. A grandmother moving like her knees forgot their age. A little boy trying to copy the fancy footwork of a grown man who clearly been second lining since before cell phones existed. A couple arguing 1 minute, then laughing the next because the band hit a groove too good to stay mad through. That is the magic of collective joy. And let me be honest with you for a moment. The world lately been acting like it forgot how to breathe. Chaos everywhere. Headlines loud enough to give your soul a headache. People so busy yelling they forgot how to listen. Sometimes the only sane response left is to step into your own rhythm and say, "Excuse me, world, I cannot hear you over this music." Not because you ignoring reality, but because you refusing to let reality crush your spirit. That is what I call the dance principle. Defy despair. Activate joy. Nurture spirit. Create motion. Embrace life. Yes, I made that acronym up right there in the street while watching a man spin a golden umbrella like it was conducting the orchestra of heaven. Inspiration works fast when brass band's involved, but that idea stuck with me. Defy despair. Life going to throw problems at you like beads during Mardi Gras. Sometimes they shiny. Sometimes they hurt when they hit your forehead. But despair is optional. Movement is medicine. And that is when I started thinking about all the things people dealing with every day. The quiet struggles nobody posts about. The heavy stuff folks carry while still smiling in public. So let me say this part clear. I might not have a car, but I dance. I may be low on money, but I dance. My living arrangements might feel unstable like a folding chair with one crooked leg, but I dance. My relationship with my significant other and even my blood family might be crumbling or non-existent, but I dance. Food expensive and some nights dinner looks suspiciously like ramen noodles again, but I dance. Maybe I do not have a job right now. Or maybe the job I do have barely sustaining me and my supervisor acting like patience is a luxury item. But I dance. Maybe my health declining and my body not cooperating like it used to. But still I dance. Maybe stress sitting on my chest like a heavy brass tuba. Maybe depression whispering lies in the quiet hours. Maybe exhaustion turning every day into a mountainy climb. But still I dance. People talking about me. People falsely accusing me. People forming opinions about chapters they never read. But still, I dance. My city got crime. Politicians acting like integrity expired sometime in 1987. But I dance. The federal government confusing everybody and nobody sure what the hell going on half the time. But I dance. Religion and spirituality sometimes reduced to words people say on Sundays while forgetting compassion on Mondays. But still I dance. I dance in the second line. Because the second line is not just behind the band. It is behind every challenge life throws your way. You step anyway. You move anyway. You live anyway. Now let me tell you a little New Orleans folklore I heard growing up. You will not find this in history books, but every city got stories hiding in its bones. Long time ago, folks used to talk about a spirit called Madame Rhythm. According to old storytellers, she walked the streets late at night wearing shoes that never touched the ground. They said she visited neighborhoods during times of hardship, floods, illness, poverty, grief. Whenever despair tried to settle into a community like dust, Madame Rhythm would whisper into the wind. Next thing you know, somebody would start tapping a spoon against a pot. Another person humming, somebody else clapping. Soon enough, a beat formed. Then somebody dancing. Then everybody dancing. The story said Madame Rhythm never solved people problems directly. She did something more powerful. She reminded them they were still alive. And alive people can move. Alive people can change things. Alive people can love again. So whenever the band starts and somebody in the crowd suddenly starts buck jumping like gravity took a coffee break, some elders still smile and say Madame Rhythm passed through here again. Now maybe that story true. Maybe it just poetic imagination. But either way, the message holds weight. Life will break your heart sometimes. That is not philosophy, that is just honest observation. But heartbreak does not get the final word unless you give it the microphone. And New Orleans people stubborn about who holds the microphone. We hold it. We sing through it. We dance through it. We laugh through it. I watched a man older than 60 stepping so smooth, the crowd started cheering like he just scored a touchdown. Somebody shouted, "Look at Uncle Leon go." Uncle Leon tipped his hat and kept moving like the pavement owed him applause. That right there is big stepping in life, second line. Walking with purpose. Owning your story. Not apologizing for taking up space in your own existence. See, the world sometimes tries to convince people to shrink. Be smaller, be quieter. Do not celebrate too loudly. Do not laugh too freely. But the second line says the opposite. Step big. Swing your arms. Wave that handkerchief like joy paying rent inside your soul. Because joy is not just a feeling. Joy is resistance. Joy is spiritual rebellion. Joy is looking at the chaos of the world and saying, nice try, but my spirit still got rhythm. And when thousands of people move together behind a brass band, something mystical happens. The noise of worry fades. The body remembers belonging. Strangers become temporary family. For a few hours, the city breathes together. That kind of unity is powerful medicine. And honestly, the world could use a little more of it. Now let me admit something with a little humor. My dancing skills somewhere between enthusiastic and questionable. I move with confidence, but accuracy sometimes negotiable. If dancing were a university course, I would pass with strong participation points. But that is the beauty of second lining. Nobody grading you. The rhythm welcomes everybody. I've seen stiff office workers loosen up like old hinges finally getting oil. I've seen shy people transform into spinning whirlwinds once the trombone started sliding those notes through the air. Music does that. Movement does that. Spirit does that. And maybe that is the deeper message hiding inside this tradition. You do not need permission to celebrate being alive. You do not need perfect circumstances to experience joy. You just need the courage to step forward. Even if life messy, even if the world noisy, even if people misunderstand you, dance anyway, step anyway, laugh anyway. Because somewhere in the distance, a brass band always warming up. And whether you realize it or not, your life already marching. The question is simple. Are you walking stiff in the background? Or are you big stepping in your own second line? Either way, the music playing might as well move. Author's closing words. If these words touched your heart, made you smile, or reminded your spirit that it still has rhythm, I humbly ask you to share this reflection with others by any positive means. Send it to a friend, read it aloud, post it, pass it along like a good melody that deserves to travel. Independent writers survive through community support the same way second lines survive through the people who show up and dance. If you believe in my voice and the stories I tell, please consider donating to support my writing and blog. Your support keeps the music playing and helps me continue creating reflections that speak to the soul. From my heart to yours, thank you for reading, sharing, and walking beside me in this big, unpredictable second line called life. With gratitude and rhythm, fire in the hole. Big Chief is coming. We big stepping.
Thank you for listening to this wonderful blog posting. I wish you have a beautiful day. I wish your day is 5-star. Till next time, peace and blessings. Khatib.